In all ways I acknowledge, no knowledge, no college. Ooh, God, you promised that great day will come. Yes, God, you promised that I will see my son. You promised that he is by your side, and nothing can separate this love inside. No masters, no doctors can prescribe ways in my heart. Only
get over here.
so ancient of days can correct. He reflects the path I acknowledge. Ooh, God, keep your promise. Sweet. God's promise, 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 promise.
Greater light. Get over there.
God's mind is my mind is light. I am in all ways reflecting his might. I am in all ways refracting his sight. In all ways I acknowledge, no knowledge, no college. Oh God, you promised that great
I didn't have to go to college for this.
Yes, God, you promised that I will see my son. You promised that he
I didn't have
is
to
by
do
your side, and nothing can
10, 12 years of
this
college
love
for this.
inside. No masters, no doctors can prescribe ways in my callings. Only his ways, oh, what's on the new self who is being created to a true knowledge according to the image of the one who created him. The people who walk in darkness will see a great light. Those who live in a dark land, the light will shine on them. God's promise, 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 promise. God's promise, 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 promise. God's mind is my mind is light. I am in all ways refracting his sight. In all ways I acknowledge, no knowledge, no college.
Hallelujah is the highest praise.
Ooh, God, you promised that great day will come. Yes, God, you promised
Hallelujah is the highest praise.
good on the new self who is being created to a true knowledge according to the image of the one
Let's
who
get
created.
this started. Let me get it started right. Let me get it started quickly, right? My mind is God's mind. I'm always reflecting divine wisdom and divine intelligence, because he is the main source of divine, divine wisdom and divine intelligence. My brain symbolizes like a sounding symbol. Oh, that first light was sound. That second light was knowing. There's a peace in knowing. That first light on the first day was sound. Sound, a symbol. I am a sounding symbol. Sound mind. My mind is God's mind. I'm always reflecting divine wisdom and divine intelligence. My brain symbolizes the capacity to think wisely and spiritually. God's ideas unfold within my mind in perfect sequence. I am always poised, balanced, serene, and calm. Every situation that I've gone through, I realize. I look back and look at some of the situations where other people would have lost their minds and probably done jumped off of a bridge, Francis Scott Key somewhere. Suicide ain't in my DNA. love, huh? As I travel these YouTube streets years and years asking for family support, you know what God showed me this morning? The years and years that I have been on these YouTube, and I'm not talking about distant cousins and step cousins. I'm just talking about my own flesh and blood. And you know what God showed me this morning? He said, stand and remember that I have a promise for you. And just remember when you stood at your son's grave, you stood there alone. No, there was that one person in my life that is not blood related. As a matter of fact, in spirituality, it was a sin for me to even be with that person. But in love and light, if that person wasn't in my life at that time, I may have very well fell into the midst of a situation where I would have committed suicide. So the week after 9/11, this is what God showed me this morning. What you so keep telling and asking like you did yesterday, wish your family member would be here when you stood at your son's grave alone. I come to the garden. You've been supportive of everything and everybody all these years, huh? And you didn't come here for them. You wasn't sent through the womb for them, huh? You were sent through the womb for all the world in this generation. That's the instructions. So what you make? Why you think something changed? That's what I heard all morning. This is what I've been sitting here. You stood at Old Lady of Mercy in Doral, Florida, by yourself. Greater light. That's the testimony service for today. Now let me continue. You are the sunshine in my life. Clark sister's been on my mind a lot lately. You are the sunshine. I'm talking about people that stayed even a couple of minutes away. You are the sunshine in my life. You are the sunshine in my life, huh? You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy. Look what I got in store for y'all today. I done found a way. Look, well, that it's not me. It's not me. It's the spirit within me that is not going to focus too long on Federal Register, because what happened is I went to Federal Register and all it did was lead me to some knowledge about a being that might just be a simulation or may actually be a real individual. I don't know, but this is let me explain how I was led to this individual. And I want to do, I may not get to the Biblia Innocentium later, within this live stream. I might not get to it until later on, because of how Federal Register and my research and development led me to this being that I want to sit back and enjoy some of the different music, some of the tones and frequencies of this being, and maybe, just for a little research history. You know, my granddaughter, she loves music. She loves creating music. She loves writing music. And it's some people that may very well know about this individual, but this, I never heard of this individual before. And the kawiki dicky about my research this morning, this just happened in less than 2 hours ago. Me finding out about this person and this being. The kawiki dicky about it is the date, his birth date. His birth date. Now, let me tell you how things work with me. I know that Google has a bunch of open source licenses that are connected through their programs. I learned about open source with Savan Bomar. I learned what open source is. I learned how just off of the information that's gathered through you as a source, if they connect to, like if you're connected to Google, you can actually be funded encrypted funds through these open sources or the open source licenses. So as I was updating this phone, and they done had the update in there for about 3 months, and I wouldn't click the update button. But before I clicked the update button, I said, let me go and check and see all the open source names. I always see the links and all. That's it, and it's so many. But for me to take the time and go through, so I went through to look at how many different names are connected to my phone through open source licenses. And some of the names even look familiar to me. I was like, wow, I mean, this is a lot of people connected to this one phone through Google. That's a lot of people. But a lot of these sites that are open source licenses are also the type they can actually come in through your program and, you know, send like ads, add on to your algorithm. For those who are not aware, it can add to your algorithm. And every little click you do, if these open source licensing programs are not dormant, because they have familiarized themselves with your algorithm, they can literally create programs in an instant on your click. Yes. If anybody don't believe what I'm saying, I learned the processes and comprehension of open source licensing. And if you was to go into Savan Bomar's chat and ask him, when did he start talking about open source licensing and how long ago was that? You'll know how long ago it was that I was doing it. This is when his stream didn't click to understand, and it was when his stream was secret energy. So I just thought about that as I went through the process that led me to this individual that I'm going to go ahead and talk about today. So my whole journey, my initial thought of what my journey was going to be today changed based on my research in the phone about the word depth. About the word depth. The word today, the word for the day, let me put it in here, is depth. And forgive us our debt as we forgive. No. forgive us our debt. Yep. Debt. That's the word for the day. Let me put it up here. Let me put it up here. So you know where I'm going with the word debt. Come on now. You know where I'm going, because when I was first growing up, it wasn't debt that we used to say in the Our Father prayer. It was trespasses. And so in my research, after I show you how I got there, to Federal Register, to the Bible and Scripture, and comparing, when did debt become the word in the Our Father prayer? Because when we were first being taught, well, me, it was our trespasses. Forgive us our trespasses. Whatever we trespass against somebody, forgive us those trespasses. And all of a sudden it turned into debt. And when did debt become a word? Debt wasn't even the B was always silent. You know how they say in some languages in history, J wasn't being used? Well, because the Spaniards didn't have lips, and a lot of the French, you know, you have some of the ancestors that come down that you can see where their lips, they didn't have top or bottom, and you could tell the mixed blood because didn't have lips, so they couldn't say B. B was and you don't have to believe me. You could go check it out. Artificial intelligence will tell you this. It's in history. So how did debt with the B in it get the B in it in the first place when they couldn't even? That's why the B was silent. I'm not making this up. I'm not making this up. The trail did well great alive. They didn't have lips. Just like when you look at, I'm just saying, like when you look at some of the chimps and stuff, they don't have lips. They couldn't pronounce the B. But I'm not making this up. So let me get to how I started off with the word debt before I get to the Our Father prayer and everything else. Go to Federal Register. I'm not going to be on Federal Register long. I'm not going to be here long. I promise I'm not going to be here long. So this week, the National Emergency Medical Services Week, it would be a dishonor. See, they trying me. They trying too hard for me to even say anything negative about all the emergency service representatives that have saved so many lives. But I want to know why they get a whole week. Because half of the stuff that they have to save lives for is just because of the government. A lot of the things like forest fires and things like that, all these man-made events that they have to, all the way down to the medical emergency of COVID and things like that. I'm saying people just dropping and just dying just because. Most of everything, cancer, the people being rushed to the hospital because of cancer, people that have almost everything has to do with this right here, the government. I like to give an honor. You know how we do before testimony service. I like to give an honor to the spirit of the National Emergency Service providers. Yes, I do. I say thank you. Because if it wasn't for emergency services providers, I wouldn't have gotten to spend another 10 years, or close to 10 years with my son. If it wasn't for emergency service providers in hospitals and things, my third child wouldn't have made it. You know, I do. I give an honor to the spirit of national emergency service providers. The one after my stepfather kept giving my son CPR, and that one service provider that took that syringe and plunged it in my son's heart, and he resuscitated, and we rolled to Miami Children's Hospital. I give honor to the National Emergency Services providers, but why is it a whole week? And this is where my research took me. This is where the research for today took me. So here we go. Here we go. Click the page. Am I sharing the screen? I want to make sure yes, you can see the screen. You can see the screen. Let me blow it up a little bit. Let's blow it up. So here today on the 22nd, National Emergency Services Week. And as remember I told you, God has been finding ways for me to think peacefully, in a loving state of mind. As I read this, anytime I see EMS services, of course, you know, I could go back and go all the way back. But the coincidence of the research because of this that took me to the individual whose birthday is the same date as my son, that's where the Kawiki Diki comes from. But we know there's no coincidence with God. There's none. There's no coincidence with God, not when your steps are ordered. So in this National Emergency Medical Services Week that the president put down here, let me read. I'm going to tell you where the depth part come in. National Emergency Services Week 2024, a proclamation during National Emergency Medical Services EMS Week. We honor our nation's courageous EMS providers who put it all on the line to deliver urgent life-saving care to people across our country in times of great need. Whether paramedics, emergency medical technicians, 911, 988 dispatchers, or other first responders, EMS providers routinely work long hours away from loved ones to keep our families whole. I want to get this whole mess straight. Get this whole mess straight. They say Dr. Malachi say he want to get the record straight. No, he don't. He said, I want to get this whole mess straight. He came to get the whole mess straight. They risk their own lives and health, staring down storms, floods, or fires, and rushing to rescue people in need. For many Americans, they are a beacon of hope. For many Americans, they are the beacon. They're the lighthouse, of hope in some life's toughest moments, and let us know we're going to be okay. We have a duty to show up for them the way they show up for us, They say you need God to show up. That is why my administration is working to get every EMS department in America the equipment to support they deserve. They don't already have it? Well, how they showing up on time if they don't already have the support and the need that they deserve, During my first months in office, we passed an American Rescue Plan. And that American Rescue Plan was supposed to be some money for the people, and they turned around and switched it. The American Rescue Plan investing billions of dollars to support EMS roles, because if they was taking the American Rescue Plan and rescuing the Americans, there wouldn't be such a need for EMS roles. Mental health. Half of the people that are now on mental health medications is because of certain things that is induced by the government. So they got to be on a 988 versus a 911. Half of the fires that happen and just out of control is because of all the chemtrails and chemical inducing agents that help start the fires. You remember back in the day when we were growing up, say it was the matches that would start the fire, And we have Smokey the Bear say, we all can prevent forest fires, only you. But no, not anymore. So I'm just saying, where was the American Rescue Plan supposed to go? If you take care of the Americans, so-called Americans, in the first place, it wouldn't be such a need for the EMS. Shots are fired every day because of first responders too. Today, we are working with state, local, tribal, and territorial governments to keep EMTs on the job and to help them handle trauma and burn out. Listen, they trying to get the EMTs to burn out. You see what they saying? You know why? Because they ready to switch it up a grade. Now they need to switch it up to the military. They want y'all to see, they saying it themselves, but there ain't no EMT gonna believe me because they think they out of the, they think they have high priority and top priority because they in secret societies and masonries, That's what they think. But Biden letting y'all know right now, y'all don't even get out in these last days. They gonna make sure you burnt out. See, this ain't they ain't make no mistake when they said it. Let me blow it up a little bit more for you to see it. God's love and light is for everybody, including the EMS workers who think just because they got a seal of approval on their chests and in their hats and in their wallets that the Gog and Magog, you are excluded from it, and you not. Biden them said it right here. Let me show you something. Let me show it one more time. See right here? See right here? They want to make sure you burnt out. Today, just like they working with the tribes for Gog and Magog, what they plan to do in your state, which that's what you call it, infrastructure flooding zones and all that. Your local and the territorial governments to keep EMTs on the job and to help them handle trauma and burn out. Am I reading that wrong? Was there supposed to be a comma, a semicolon, or something somewhere in that sentence? Look. Governments to keep EMTs on the job and to help them handle trauma and burn out. It don't say burnouts of forest and woods. It said help them handle trauma and burnout. We are working to get departments the resources they need to provide better training and equipment for our EMS providers. To help ease staffing shortages, we are also helping community recruit and train more firefighters. We often provide emergency medical services as well. See, they getting ready for the fires again. And I'm going to show you what I mean. We are fighting the ease of to ease the burden of student loans. Where do student loans come in? This the part right here. In all, we have canceled debt for 4.6 million student borrowers, including for nearly 900,000 public service workers by fixing the public service loan forgiveness program, which many nonprofit or government EMS provider employees could be eligible for. Let me ask you something. Every time they say they forgave a debt, forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And we know in all of the construction of the Bible, debt was never part of that Our Father prayer, right? It was trespasses, but all of a sudden, every time we open our mouth and we pray, you got a inkling in your spirit to say, "Forgive us our debts," as we forgive our debtors. When it was about trespasses, if they forgiven debts and canceling debts, now just say, I don't know how much all the student loans cost all together, but just say only $1 for 4.6 million student borrowers, including nearly 900,000 public service workers. They not gonna be struggling because they don't have no more debt, right? So why they get a whole week? I'm gonna show you why. I'm gonna show you how this little clause in here is a whole scam. This is the focus of the clause. Why they get a whole week. Here's where he lying. I have often said that courage lies. There he is. He letting you know he lying. He said the core rage lies in every heart. And the expectation is that it will one day be summoned. It is summoned every day for America's EMS providers. They embody the best of our nation: bravery, honor, respect, never failing to answer the call to help others. This week, we thank them and the unions. There it is. The unions. The lies. This week, we thank them and the unions that protect so many of our EMS providers and promise to always have their backs. So he put it out here for today. And here's the dates from the 19th through the 25th as National Emergency Medical Services Week. I call upon public officials, doctors, nurses, paramedics, EMS providers, and all the people of the United States to honor and observe this week with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities to honor our brave EMS workers and pay tribute to the EMS providers who have lost their lives in the line of duty. This means everybody who has lost their life is an EMS worker. Because America has been in a state of emergency for a very, very long time. But who is the honor and respect going to go to? Only those who got their debts canceled. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. All right, let me get to the real point of the matter. How this every single time their Federal Register is a code up on something else. Again, honor and respect to the nurses and the doctors who don't know or not aware that they're contributing to the demise of the people on earth if you're not preventing the things that the government is doing. If you're not doing the research and development to see that you're working with the enemy. So on this page right here and on this document, there's a date right here. Now you see the 2 pages, but you see how this final rule, and they put these 2 pages, but there's a date right here. And so I decided to go into that date. And lo and behold, this is what is about to come up. Because, okay, some of the things that the EMS providers were supposed to be paid for and covered for, and they had the budgets created last year or the year before last. Now that that budget is coming in, but they taking the budget and putting it into the war. So in order to make these people feel like they're getting the money that they deserve, they're telling them they're canceling their debt when they're actually not canceling their debt. They want to make them work and burn out so that you don't even get to enjoy your debt, the release of your debt. So it's like somebody cancels a debt for you and they say, you know what, I'm just going to take care of it. But you will be owed to them somehow, some way, until they feel suffice that you made up for them canceling your debt. So here on this date right here, this September 4th, 2003, these are the things and events that happen that they need to keep putting money into and make up for. Or a reminder of something that is about to happen or reoccur. Like right here on natural disaster. So this year is going to be a lot of fires, and they telling you they're about to help y'all burn out. Just remember, we paid and canceled all them debts for you because we have another reoccurring event. A reoccurring event. So y'all get ready. It's not prophecy. It's just written. And just like when I text my family, one of my family members who do the same thing every single time. Yeah, you are aware that it's a reoccurring event, but all the years that you've been aware that it's a reoccurring event, and I haven't been aware that it was a reoccurring event until I start studying and show myself approved. But you know it's a reoccurring event, but you haven't shared it with your family members to let them know, hey, be prepared. This is a reoccurring event that happens. Then what good and use is your awareness? And not that everybody is going to take or even want to listen to you saying, look, this is a reoccurring event and this is that. But if the government is telling you it's a reoccurring event on just as simple as something as gas, they're telling you most of the things that happen is a reoccurring event. Especially this war that we're about to move into. It's a reoccurring event. That's a recycle. So doesn't that mean be prepared? So here, every time they put this national EMS service, if you go through the different times in history, every time they do this, not long after that, they have forest fires that go out of control and they have to fight. So the last time in Federal Register history was around 2003 when there were a lot of forest fires, EMS workers that lost their lives. So here we go. National, the date that they have connected to this Federal Register acknowledgement The amount of people here that they cancel the debt for means this may be very well the amount of people that get affected because they have to make up for the cancellation of the debt. Mark my word in what I'm saying to you. Reoccurring history, like I said, I done learned this Federal Register like the back of my hand. And because I like history, and because I've studied history, and because I go and I research, and it's not me speaking anything into life and manifesting anything, it's a reoccurring event. And for those who like to do that, oh, you're speaking and manifesting things and and our mind is more powerful than and then they be the main ones at somebody's funeral in their family, crying, asking for what you call it, what's the thing when you ask for money? My such and such just died this week, such and such, can y'all send, we all know them little group raising funds and stuff like that. So here it is. Now the locations for where these fires are going to happen is, you would have to go into your Federal Register and type in your city, and you will know. You just type your city and see where, how they are supposed to be affected by the infrastructure, the new infrastructure that they're creating. Just like all these floods that's happening, ain't nobody should be surprised if they was listening to me last before the end of the year, and I said, look, you just type in your city, you type in your town, it'll let you know if your town has to be destroyed with floods to be rebuilt, if bridges need to be knocked down, if fires is going to be the cause, if hurricanes is going to be, it's already written right here in the Federal Register. So with this event right here, thank you for your service. Workers, doctors, fire department, fire rescue, police officers, all those who really, truly in their heart, really go beyond, above and beyond, and have love and light in them to want to continue to do this. But to be prepared that Biden is saying they're going to burn you out. And they're going to burn you out because they're forgiving your debt. And in them forgiving your debt and your loan, we forgive you, but we got to burn you out. And we got fires and things already set up and planned and stored, and it's written. And here in this current event right here, this was something that happened in 2003. Look how many acres. Don't say how many lives were lost. The war continuing. That's an event. All this stuff is just a continuation over and over. Film censorship. So this year somebody gonna have film censorship again. And this right here, North Korea, this is gonna, that's why I put rubber stamp in the title. I put rubber stomp. Because this was just the initiation to continue whatever is going to be going on with the war now. You know how they show family be feuding for years? For years, a family of feud, and then finally when they make it to the family reunion, that's when the fight break out. I'm just saying. So that's this right here. The feud been going on for years. Here they fuel it through their Federal Register schemes and scams. Now let me read to you about debt. Let me go into the debt now. let me go into depth and my research on depth and get you to the being that I ended up go. So the first thing I asked Bing or co-pilot or the assistant, thank you for your kind words. The word depth appears in scripture multiple times. Here are a couple of times. Never is it referenced to the Our Father prayer. Let no depth remain outstanding except the continuing depth of to love one another. For whoever loves others has fulfilled the law. It does not say that the other depths can't remain outstanding. It says, let no debt remain outstanding except. Do people miss that part right there? Huh? And it's people who will lose their lives. They will do all kinds of things to cancel out these debts that the government has put on you. And then get fooled because of how they misinterpret the word, not rightly dividing it. The highlight of that topic in Romans 13, 8 through 10 says, let no debt remain outstanding except the continuing debt to love one another. Except, like, it's like I say, I love everybody except this person. Or I love this person. I love everything about you except this. Do you understand what the word accept means? Huh? Let me look at the different translations. Let me go to Romans. That's the New Intellect. Let me see if it say the same thing in the same way here. Romans 13. Now it's good to take care and build your credit and get your debts paid. And you don't want to owe no man. But not to the point where you burnt out. Not to the point where you about to lose your mind. Not to the point where it takes you off track of what God's ordered step is for you. There's some people who would be so concerned about making sure that they owe no man nothing that they die in their grave doing that. They go to their grave and still didn't go to their grave. And then some work all the way until the end to make sure all their debts is canceled and got all their credit straight and everything and didn't get to enjoy to live to see the fruits of it. $13. What? No. I pay my debts. I like to make sure I don't owe no man. That's why I don't like to literally, I don't like to borrow or take things from anybody. Hey, Latrell Tidwell, you still over here? Let me hold something. Let me hold something, Latrell. Where you at? Huh? Cash at me. You got me? Yeah. We'll see. Romans 13, 8 through 10. Pay all your debts except the debt of love for others. Never finish paying that. So that's how this one recycles it. It says, pay all your debts except the debt of love for others. Never finish paying that. Meaning the other ones you may finish, but you may never finish paying your debt of love for others. This one says, let no debt remain outstanding except for the continuing debt to love one another. This is one of them times and transitions of words and verses that they added in there that ain't had nothing to do. I'm telling you, for real. That's a government put it in and stick it in there as hard as they could and hope you fall for it, fall for the trick. Why do I say that? Let me show you. The word debt has an interesting history. Let's delve into this etymology and origin. The word debt is derived through the Middle English word debt, which came from the Old French dette, and it's spelled Dette and Dete. That's how it's spelled. The word debt is derived through the Middle English word dette, which came from the Old French dette or debtor or debt. Notably, the letter B is conspicuously absent in the Middle English and Old French versions of the word. The letter B was never in there. Again, this is where I came up and said earlier, the reason why the French and Spanish from that early back is because they didn't have lips. They didn't have full lips to even pronounce the letter B. The origin of debt can be traced back to the Latin word dedium, like deity, which means what is owed. The Latin term itself comes from de habere, habere, which translate to have or to owe. The root of debt lies in the Latin word debitum. Now, I was watching something the other day. I told my sister, I said, I'm starting to watch things just to, get my mind leveled out a little bit. Shows that I never watched. If I tell y'all a show that I'm watching right now that I never watched, and the only reason why I don't know is because they've been talking about Terrence Howard. But I've been tickled watching this show. So anybody who probably watched the show, I'm telling you, this is my first time. However long that was on the series and all that, I'd never watched it. I think I watched a couple of minutes of it with my friend when we was in North Carolina, her and her children, my best friend. A couple of, I wasn't really into it. But I've been watching it lately, right? Because of the music and stuff. Anyways, so there was a scene where the lady said, I'm from the streets and I'm from prison or whatever. And she said, do you know what I am? I'm a debutante. I'm a debutante. And she said, you know what that means? I'll kick and slit your throat and bounce right back. Wouldn't even think nothing of it. In so many terms, the debutante. So when I saw this morning, that's exactly where my mind went. A lot of those debutantes, sorority boards and all that. So the root of the dep lies in the Latin debitum, emphasizing the concept of owing something, You always gonna have to owe. It did see the debt means you always gonna be owing something. So if they forgive your debt, if they forgive what you owe, that means you owe them something. I don't see how people get so happy for that. Don't let somebody when I used to be out there. I remember like not saying nothing bad about my auntie. This is just life. This is the way life is. As I was a teen and I was living with her, running away from home and all that. And she said, you ain't, if you go and you talk to them older men and all that, you ain't got to do nothing. You get money, they'll make you ain't really got to do nothing. But something about don't sound right. I'd rather do something hard. I need some hard work. I need something out there else to do because that's not gonna work for me. That ain't gonna work for me. Just the thought of something in my face, especially if it's old and can make me nag. No, that when you say something for nothing, that don't sound right to me. When they say they can all taking care of all your debt, and you don't think you owe nothing, there's something ain't right about that. And my auntie is a witness. I didn't go for none of what she was putting out there for me to do. None of that. I went and got it the hard way. So if they say they consider your debt based on what I'm reading right here, so despite the sound being English, scholars in the Middle Ages who believe that the word should pay homage to the Latin root. I'd always go back to the Latins. Interestingly, the B had never been in either English or French, yet the spelling became established. While modern French spelling reforms eliminate B, English has not managed to shed its silent letter in depth. So now Matthew 6, 9 through 13. When exactly did they throw and take out trespasses into depth to the language? Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our trespasses, which you trespass against somebody in their spirit. Jesus was not for nothing about no money when he's turning over tables in the church. When he was turning over tax collectors and they was trying to trick him up and trip him up because they know how he felt about the government and their money scams. Ain't nowhere in the world Jesus was sitting there saying, and forgive us our debts. Forgive us our trespasses. Forgive me for trespassing against the heart of this man. Forgive me for trespassing against the sanity of this woman. Forgive me for trespassing against the kindness and humbleness of this person. Forgive me for trespassing. Forgive us our trespasses. as we forgive our trespassers. And then lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. I just had to do that. So now I start asking her about debt again, and this is how I get to this guy that I'm going to read about. Oh, I spent a whole hour at least with that opening about this guy that I'm going to read about that I never heard of before. So let me share this screen and do this little history. I'm excited about this because I'm ready to listen to some of the music. First, I'm going to play some of his music. I'm going to play this song first. I'm going to play this song, and then I'm going to talk about him. So his last name is this debt. That's his last name. Oh, I don't have nothing going across my banner today. Let me put something across my banner. There we go. That's his last name. Listen to this song with me. Listen to the song. Here we go. Ready?
Listen to the Lamb. Listen to the Lamb. Listen to the Lamb.
Try to make sure it's playing. All right. All right. I'm hoping they didn't cut me off. I don't think they should be cutting me off for educational purposes. But I'm gonna go ahead and read. This is who composed and wrote that, and there is his birth date. So again, for me, in my thoughts about this National Emergency Medical Services Week and how my research and development, again, I never heard of this person and this being before. I never did any, as much as I love music, as much as I loved going to listen to symphonies and going to Symphony Hall in Miami and listening to, even when I was pregnant with my son, and those girls that was there in Job Corps at the time know that I would wake up in the morning and I would play. There was a station that played orchestra music and symphony music, and that's basically all I would play. And I would put the radio on my stomach. I would put the radio on my stomach, and not just for though, the orchestra or the symphony, but for all types of music that was soothing. So I would do that. And again, all my years of my life, I never heard of this person. So I don't know if this is just a new simulation, but again, because I'm watching these choruses and choirs sing this stuff, it's obviously somebody who had already existed. He's just brand new to me. So again, because of the date of his birth, and that is my son's birthday, I'm feeling a type of special new appreciation and connection to want to read about Robert Nathaniel Dett. Now, the thing about Nathaniel is my great great grandfather. Here, I'm going to show you right now. Going across my ticker from Old Bite, his name is Nathaniel. His name is Nathaniel. And this is the Old Bite side, my grandmother's grandfather. And then his father, the Old Bite side. And Nathaniel Knowles. So just thought I'd share that. Now let me go ahead and read. Robert Nathaniel Dett, October 11th, 1882. October 2nd, 1943. Often known as R. Nathaniel Dett, and Nathaniel Dett was a Canadian American composer, organist, pianist, choral director, and music professor. Born and raised in Canada until the age of 11, he moved to the United States with his family and had most of his professional education and career there. During his lifetime, he was a leading Black composer known for his use of African American folk songs and spirituals as basis for choral and piano compositions in the 19th century Romantic style of classical music. He was among the first Black composers during the early years after American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers, the ASCAP, ASCAP, was organized. He was among the first Black composers during the early years of the American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers was organized. His works often appeared among the programs of Will Marion Cook's and New York Syncopated Orchestra. Will Marion Cook. In 1919, he took his New York Syncopated Orchestra to England for a command performance for King George V. Let me see his face. He's a cook, huh? He was born in Washington, D.C. Oh, the Mercer. He was a Mercer, too. Look at that mustache. Let me go back. All right. So, where was I? Depp performed at Carnegie Hall and at the Boston Symphony Hall as a pianist and choir director. Depp was born in 1882 in Drummond, Mr. Drummond. Well, the world don't move to the beat of just one stroke. Well, it might be right for you. Mr. Drummondville, Ontario. Now part of Niagara Falls, Ontario. To Charlotte, Washington. So he was a charlatan also. His mother was a charlatan. Charlotte, Washington. Not only was she a Charlotte, she was a Washita Det. And Robert T. Det. Descended from escaped slaves who traveled north. His mother was a native of Drummondville, and his father was from the United States. So his mother was a native from Drummondville. So she was native to the land. And his father was from the United States. Should I look up and do any research right now? No, I don't want to on Drummondville, but I will write that down to look at later. Drummondville. Wherever the villes be, huh? The young Det studied piano at an early age, showing initial interest when he was 3 years old and started piano lessons at the age of 5. When he was a child, his mother directed him to study Shakespeare, Longfellow, and Tennyson and commit passages to memory. My mother did that. It was the Bible. We had to commit. We couldn't go outside and play for a while. It was some years. On Saturdays, we couldn't go outside and play till we finished cleaning and learned a memory verse. We had to memorize a passage, and it wasn't no 1 or 2 lines either. In 1893, the family moved over to the border of Niagara Falls, New York. At about age 14, Det played piano for his local church, the Methodist Mission Church, later renamed the R. Nathaniel Det Memorial Chapel. Let's see what it looks like. Wait, where is it? Oh, I don't have it here. He studied at Oliver Ollis Halstead Conservatory of Music from 1901 to 1903. He continued his piano lessons at a Lockport Conservatory, matriculating to the Oberlin Conservatory of Music in Ohio. Oberlin Conservatory, Oberlin Conservatory Music of Ohio. It was founded in 1865, where he first encountered the practice of incorporating spirituals in classical music. Ooh, this may be down my alley. He heard the music of Antonin Dvorak. Antonin Leopold Dvorak was a sex composer the rock frequently employed rhythms and other aspects of the folk music of Moravia and his native Bohemia. Following Romantic era nationalist example of his predecessor, Bedřich Smetanen, Dvorak style has been blah, 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 blah. I tell y'all it's a difference between a Bohemian and a Bohemia. I said it, but obviously the Bohemia's music got intertwined with a Moravia and a debt. With a debt. Antonin Dvorak intertwined with the debt. And forgive us our debt as we forgive our a composer who had toured the United States and incorporated elements of American music in his own work, including the New World Symphony. He was also influenced by composer Samuel Coleridge Taylor. Now, I've heard of Samuel Coleridge. Okay, look. All right, let's show that face. Let's show that face. Samuel Coleridge, 1875. He died young. He died young. He was 37. Oh, wonder where his family at now. Let's see. Wonder who his descendants are. Okay, there's his wife and there's his children. Oh, they said some nice Christmas cards back then. See all these pictures and how these pictures look. How come late 1800 don't have more pictures of people? Okay, let me go back. Let me go back. Let's go back. Who composed a set of 3 cantatas called the Song of Hiawatha, Hiawatha's Wedding Feast. Was particularly famous for years. I want to see. Let me listen to this. Let's see if it's the Song of Hiawatha. Let's see if it's on here. Yeah, I'm gonna be on here a minute going through because music is one of the windows to my soul. Yep. Okay, what was that called? The Song of Hiawatha. Okay, let's type it in. The Song of Hiawatha. There it is. The Song of Hiawatha. Where's the song? Give me a second. I see the remakes here, but I don't see them being by. Hold up. Give me a moment. Okay, here it is. I found it. Let's see what it sounds like. And I wonder who Hiawatha is. Hiawatha's Wedding Feast. 30 minutes. I'm not going to do the whole 30 minutes though. Y'all know I'm not going to do the whole I'm not going to do the whole 30 minutes. Okay, it was before the name. Wow. I want to read this story. Am I sharing? Okay. All right. As I was listening to that, I was doing a little bit of research. I was doing a little bit of research about, see, I'm learning so many new things today. I'm so excited about this. So, who was the Hiawatha? Who was the bride of Hiawatha? She was Amini Haha, who came from a different tribe. Yep, in the land of the Ojibways or the Ojibwas, in the pleasant and peaceful land. There was a pleasant and peaceful land. You say, did she marry? Hiawatha took his place among the national folks of heroes or something. So that was this song by the Coolidge that I just played. All right. So let me get back to Robert Nathaniel. Debt. That was cool. That was cool. All right. So some of the music reminded Det of spirituals he had learned from his grandmother. He was the first Black American to complete a Bachelor of Music degree in Oberlin 1908, for which he studied composition and piano. Wow, really? He was the first Black American to complete a Bachelor of Music degree. No college. All right. He looked like Emir. He was the first Black American to complete a Bachelor of Music degree at Oberlin in 1908, for which he studied composition and piano. Det toured as a concert pianist, and during this period, he wrote only rudimentary piano compositions. He came under the influence of Emma Azalea Hackley. She was a concert soprano, newspaper editor, teacher, and political activist, and African American. She promoted racial pride through her support and promotion. Wait, what? Oh boy, I used to hate to have to ride this part of Tennessee. Oh, okay. So she was Marietta. Yeah, I don't know why I'm beginning to feel more and more like a lot of this information, for some reason, that they're just simulated creations. And I don't know if it's because of the way I see words and decipher words and the history and everything, but so she's an African American, and when they're saying African American based on what I'm looking at, I'm wondering, is she like African American, like Elon Musk African American? I mean, because I'm looking at and this is just, being in the reality of how I grew up. And as I look at her features, I mean, because my daughter's grandmother is lighter than her. I'm just saying, but her features look African. Like when I think what they're titling for back then. Am I sharing this screen? Let me make sure I'm sharing this screen. Wait a minute. Nope, I'm not even sharing the screen. Dang, see? Now, how did I get on to Emma Azalea Smith? Because it said and stated that Robert Nathaniel, he took to her or worked with her. Let me go back and see what it says. He came under the influence of her. And she went by different names. So she went by a Smith, Azalea Smith Hackley, and then Azalea Hackley, and Emma Azalea Hackley. For some reason, I'm inclined to read a little bit more about her. But let me continue. Let me continue. After graduation, Det started teaching at Tennessee's Lane College, followed by a tenure at the Lincoln Institute in Jefferson City, Missouri. So he really did a lot of traveling, huh? Founded in 1866 by African American veterans of the American Civil War, it was a member school of the Thurgood Marshall College Fund. This was the first Black university in, wow, I'm really learning a lot today. During the Civil War, the 62nd Colored Infantry Regiment of the U.S. Army, largely recruited in Missouri. Outside support from religious groups. Outside support from religious groups. Okay, let me get out of this. Followed by tenure at Lincoln Institute in Jefferson City, Missouri. During this period, his compositional activities, including writing practical choral and piano pieces suitable for his students. The 1913 piece In the Bottoms contains one of his most played movements, Dance Juba. So, now didn't one of Cain's descendants, they were the Juba and the Jubal, Juba and Jubal. Okay, let me stop for a second and go back over to YouTube to see if they have In the Bottoms. I want to hear what that sounds like. In the Bottoms. Let's see, said the blind man, if I can find In the Bottoms. In the Bottoms. Oh, there it is. There it is. Let's see. Unknown caller. They trying too hard. not allowing me to share the screen. All right, so I'm sitting here playing this. It's not allowing me to share it. I'll do it over. Give me a minute. So I get this call interruption, and then it's not allowing me to share the screen. That's okay. That's just fine by me. I don't know what they think. Does anyone understand when you've lived in South Florida Evaluation and Treatment Center, you don't get spooked by things? Like, I don't get spooked easily. I don't know if anybody ever in their lives that have known me realize that. And I call things out for the way that I perceive it and see it, and then people will call me paranoid, but then years later they'll confirm, you know, I don't get spooked easily. And I'm not afraid of death, and my family knows that. It's just that, you know, DNA is not in my, I mean, suicide is not in my, it's not part of my makeup. It's not. Mhm. And never giving up is part of who I am. So here, what was that I was just playing the bottom? Let me go back to that. See if I can get that back on screen. Because for some reason it booted booted me out where I wasn't able to show it. Oh goodness. What they have on here now don't look nothing like what I was playing earlier. And I didn't even have to put in his name. All I put was the bottom and it came up. Now it's not coming up. There it is. Let's try this one more time. Let's see if I can get this screen shared. And see the people that they have here now on the side. This wasn't here earlier. Let's see. Is it sharing? Let's see. It's not letting me. It's not allowing me to share the screen. All right, so I'm sitting here playing this. It's not allowing me to share it. I'll do it over in a minute. And then it's not allowing me to share the screen. And then it's not allowing me to share the screen. I like that. I like that. As a matter of fact, I hear a part that I want to clip. I want to remix. I hear a part that I want to remix in that. I like that. Oh, now I can listen to that one again, but I'm not gonna play the whole 15 minutes for y'all. I'm just going through because there's some more songs on here that I want to play. Let me continue. So the dance juba contains one of his most played movements, the dance juba. Let me type in what is the dance juba. Oh, I'm just gonna write that down. That's for my own personal when I'm creating music along with artificial intelligence. Okay, Fanny Bloomfield Zeisler performed the work at Chicago Musical Hall. The 1913 Det no, in 1913, Det began to teach at the Hampton Institute in Virginia, and in 1926 became the first Black director of music there. He remained at Hampton until 1932. During his nearly 20-year tenure, he founded the Hampton Choral Union, Musical Arts Society, and Hampton Institute Choir, and in its School of Music, internationally recognized, the choir specialized in African American sacred music and performed Det's own compositions and arrangements. Sometimes his arrangements were criticized for being inauthentic due to their similarities with Western classical music. He encouraged his Hampton student soprano, Dorothy Maynor. If I say who she looked like in the community, they'll think I'm being funny. Wow. Beautiful. He, known as Dorothy Maynor, was an American soprano concert singer and founder of the Harlem School of Arts. Oh, she was the founder of the Harlem School of Arts. Okay, Maynor is noted as the first American to sing at a presidential inauguration. The first African American to sing at a presidential inauguration. Oh, wow. To pursue a career as a concert artist, he encouraged his Hampton student. So she was his student. Okay. To pursue a career as concert artist. She followed his advice and became one of the leading concert artists in the nation. His position as major pianist composer was earned in 1914. His piece Magnolia was performed at the Samuel Coleridge Taylor Club. Magnolia. On June 3rd that year, he performed Magnolia and In the Bottoms. The Chicago Evening Post reported that among the works of all colored program, his works was the most innovative, and it praised his high level of piano skills. Let me hear what Magnolia sounds like. Let's go. Let's stop. Let me stop a second. Click here. Let me listen to Magnolias. Still Magnolias. Magnolia. Magnolia. Y'all, I just had to take a break from some things, and I really, really do love music. Robert. Let me just put his last name. Oh, it's not coming up. Oh, yes. What is this album? It's called My Cup Runneth Over. Oh my goodness. Oh my, I gotta get this CD. I mean the CD. I'm telling you, I gotta get the CD. Let me go ahead and play this right here. And this one is only 4 minutes and 55 seconds. So I am gonna play the whole thing. All right, hold on. Let me go ahead and share this tab. Oh, it's not playing. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I don't like the way my audio is coming in as I go to listen to my stream. So I'm gonna do this another time and really go and enjoy this music with myself. But I'm gonna read some more. Let me go ahead and read some more, and I'm gonna just try to continue reading and note that I'm going to be going to listen to probably all of these today. The Cinnamon Grove. Y'all know the cinnabar, the stone, the cinnabar as a phosphate. Religious folk songs of the Negro. Oh, hear the lambs a crying. Let us cheer in the weary traveler. Listen to the lambs. Enchantment. Don't be weary, traveler. The chariot jubilee. I'll never turn back no more. I want to, boy, I'm gonna have me a good time. Oh, and the one song that I was told not to be singing, huh? Ave Maria, 1930, huh? What? The debt collection of Negro spirituals, the ordering of Moses, tropic winter. What? 8 Bible vignettes. What is this? I am the true vine. What? No more auction blocked, and that was published for orchestra. I mean, I'm gonna have a ball. I really wanted to sit here and share with my live stream, but again, as I'm listening, it's just like there's an attack on my audio. Okay, let me read some more. Let me go ahead and just continue reading. I'm so excited. I'm excited that I get to focus on something else besides all the little throw offs that I've been watching lately. On December 27, 1916, Det married Helen Elise Smith. Helen Elise Smith. She was the first Black graduate of the Institute of Musical Art in New York City. I'm not going to say why I'm laughing. It's just, anyways. Each became known as, which became known as Juilliard School of Performing Arts. So she was the first Black graduate of the Institute of Musical Art in New York City, which became known as the Juilliard School of Performing Arts. I remember my godbrother wanted to go to Juilliard with his cello. In 1918, Det wrote of his compositional goals. We have this wonderful store of folk music, the melodies of enslaved people. But this store will be of no value unless we utilize it, unless we treat it in such a manner that it can be presented in choral form, in lyric and operatic works, in concertos and suites and salon music, unless our musical architects, I just heard Goldmouth Doctor say yesterday what music is to this life. Unless our musical architects take the rough timber of Negro themes and fashion it for music, which will prove that we too have national feelings and characteristics, as have the European peoples whose forms we have zealously followed for so long. Throughout this lifetime, Det continued to study music, including studies at many prestigious institutions, such as the American Conservatory of Music at Columbia University, Northwestern University, and the University of Pennsylvania and Harvard. Each summer, he attended major national institutions. In 1919, he founded the Musical Arts Society, which organized concerts with artists such as Marian Anderson, Henry T. Burleigh, Granger, they don't have him, Roland Hayes, American lyric tenor and composer. Critics lauded his abilities and linguistic skills demonstrated with songs in French, German, and Italian. Hayes' predecessors as well-known African American concert artists, including Ciciereta, Sousa, and Clarence Cameron White. Oh man, do you know I got me something to do now for a moment for the next couple of days. Yes, I'm gonna have a ball. I am about to have a ball. You just don't know. You just don't know. Oh, I wasn't sharing the page of what I was reading. I'm sorry. I done got. I wasn't sharing this tab, y'all. I'm sitting here and I thought I was showing y'all what I was looking at. See here, Marian Anderson, Henry T. Burleigh, Roland Hayes, Clarence Cameron White, and the Belgian Royal Band, who presented Det with the Palm and Ribbon Award. A Palm and Ribbon Award, huh? In 1920 and 1921, he attended Harvard University, where he studied at Arthur Foote, member of the Boston Six, George Whitfield Chadwick. Oh my goodness. Oh goodness. He looked like he beat him into learning. I'm just saying, that's just how he looked. I'm just saying. Look, look at the face. Huh? That's the best he could do for the pictures. Well, oh my goodness, winning 2 prizes. Don't Be Weary Traveler, a choral composition, and won the Francis Boot Award. Was an American classical music composer of art songs and worked for chorus. While his essay, The Emancipation of Negro Music, won the Bold. Oh, I want to read that. Goodness. Oh, man. The Emancipation of Negro Music won the Bowdoin Prize, a prestigious award given annually to Harvard University undergraduate and graduate students from the income of bequest of Governor James Baldwin, 1745. Prizes were often offered to students at the university in graduate and undergraduate categories. His interest in composition had to accommodate his demands for teaching and administration. Percy Granger, he looked like somebody that acts right now, recorded the Juba from the In the Bottoms during Det's year at Harvard. Percy Aldridge Granger was an Australian-born composer, arranger, and pianist who moved to the United States in 1914 and became an American citizen in 1918. In the course of a long and innovative career, he played a prominent role in the revival of interest in British folk music. What is that book he's holding? I want to see the book he's holding. What is that you're holding? What is that book? Come on now, zoom on in. What is that book you're holding? Come on, bring it on down. Bring it on down. Bring it on down. Greg and his music. Oh, the Gregors. Greg and his music. Oh, it's always a trap to take you all the way back. The boule go no matter how far. If you think you going somewhere where it's peaceful, Gog and Magog show up. I thought I was gonna have some peace of mind. It's just another Carnegie Hall to the bottom of the barrel at the bottom of the sea where they raising up Gog and Magog. I could look at it that way, or I could go ahead and try what did I just see? See, I read a little bit of that. That's why I just kind of came out of there real quick. Did y'all see what I was looking at? Did you see? Let me go back. Percy, Master P. Did you take on Master P? Master P, is this who you took? You took his there he was in the mental health ward. Master P. Percy, did you take on the soul of Percy Granger? Did you? Now see, they shouldn't let me get here because it's always gonna take me to find something where something ain't right if it don't have anything to do with love and light. What done happened now? I done left Nathaniel. I'm glad his birthday was that day, but I need to see something about advance. They know they couldn't say the B's because they didn't have lips. They didn't have lips. He's one of them fallen angels, that came back to life in another date and time, Share the screen. Which one I'm sharing instead? There he is. Oh, I shouldn't have seen that book in his hand. Oh, look at that. Look at that. He was considered the old bull. He grew up under the old bull. Oh, no, they didn't try to trick me. They tried to trick me. They said, well, if she goes and she listens and connects with her first love, which is music, maybe we can stop her. Maybe, just maybe. But nope, you should have let me see that Gregor name. Look at the Municipal Hospital. You shouldn't have let me see that Gregor name, I shouldn't have seen the Gregor, and he's not just a Gregor, he's a Gregor core, Oh my goodness, get out of here. Get out of here. I'm done. They done messed up. They messed up. I had so much high respect for reading about Nathaniel Dent. And he ain't no different than the musicians of the day. He ain't no different than the musicians. I don't care how much he wrote on it. I could go and listen to these songs, but it has a deeper meaning, now that I look at some of the people he trained up under, especially the Gregors. Most of the top recordings, see, there goes CBS. CBS is in the midst. See, they thought they had me. What's these? I'm going to read about this 8 Bible vinaigrettes. That's where I'm going to find the trick of the devil right there. What he meant by 8 Bible vinaigrettes. 8 Bible fishnets, black pantyhose. Coming out of Ohio. Huh? You messed up. You shouldn't have let me see that. You shouldn't have let me see that. They tried to trick me by putting his date, his birthday, thought they was gonna pull my heartstrings. Y'all see that mess? Who here with me? Do you see that mess? Wait, I'm not sharing the screen. You see that mess? They get back here. Get back here. They Oh, you shouldn't have let me see the Gregor. Anything that got Gregors in it. The Gregors, if you worked for, sang under, I don't care how spiritually harmonized you are. Huh? I don't care how delicate and intricate your fingers work that piano. And I don't care how many honors and awards of palms and branches that they give you. Huh? If you work for the devil, you work for the devil. And according to all this stuff I'm seeing here, and again, half of the great musicians that came out of Juilliard, huh? Studied at some of these schools right here, huh? Some of these high top priority schools and stuff, huh? Are the main reason why the children are losing their mind based on the music, huh? The music, the performing arts, the videos. I told you I've been watching this show that all the people, everybody don't watch it. It's so old. It's so old. It's free on Tubi. It's so old. It's free on Tubi, this series. And I'm finally watching it and looking at it. And some of the stuff I'm shaking my head. I'm like, is it, it's not going to get any better. It's going to get worse than this. And there's some of the actors and the roles that they decided to take for something that was not based on a true story. Just like, I don't know. But let me get off and do some research and listening and relaxing my mind anyway. I appreciate the music, but at the end of the day, and I can't say it's a lot of devil worship songs that I grew up on and listened to, and artists that I liked. And I can tell you one thing for sure, and two things for certain. I sure didn't like Puff Daddy. I got people that witness. I didn't like none of his music. I like some of the artists that came out of some of it, but I didn't like his music at all. It was just, to me, he was very not talented at all, no talent at all. Every video that I ever seen with him, it was the other people around him that were the talented ones. No talent at all. I never seen him with any type of talent. I just felt like I'll throw that in there as I close on out. Since I'm talking about music today. So you work for the devil, you work for the devil. It don't matter how much prestige they give you. If you side with Gog and Magog, greater light.